So, a lot of people are playing reroll comps lately, besides Fairy, Witchcraft, and Riceflex. But what if I told you there is one comp in particular that is very easy to play, and you can just fast 9 the first place? Hey guys, my name is Xteria, and I'm going to be teaching you guys Smolder Shapeshifter. In this video, we're going to cover the strongest items, strongest units, and strongest augments. As you can tell from my voice, I'm still kinda sick, so hopefully you guys can bear with it. And our main DPS is going to be Smolder. His core item is Ginsu's Rageblade. If you don't have this item, he's not going to dish out as much damage. You can put armor break item like Last Whisper on him, and then +1 items such as Giant Slayer. It doesn't really matter for the other two. As long as you have Ginsu's Rageblade, it's all that matters. And you can flex like whatever damage items you can on him. His best artifact items would be to have Mittens. This item is actually really cracked on Smolder because he benefits from attack speed and movement speed. And then just the usual damage items such as Fish and Bones and Collector. Our secondary carry is going to be Brair, and her core item is to have a Bloodthirster. If you have this item on her, she will be like a whole different unit. And then just best in slot is just the usual melee items such as Sterix Gauge and Titans. But I prefer to have Edge and Knight over Titans, but you can flex around with like the rest of the 5 items here. And the best artifacts you could put on her would be like Death Defiance, Infinity Force, Prowler's Claw, and one of her highest win rate items is Suspicious Trench Cloak, because if you have multiple Briars on the board, she can just cast her ability 3 times and just fear everything. In order to get to Smolder and Briar, you're gonna need an early game carry, which would be Shyvana. Literally any item would work, but apparently best in slot would be like Crown Guard, Warmogs, and Bloodthirster. Honestly, any rod items or tank items would work, such as the flex, like you can just throw in whatever on her here. Onyx Spark is a notable item for her because it gives her AP, Magic's Wrist Shred, because Shyvana's AP, and it gives her pretty decent tank stats. Her best artifact items could be like Suspicious Trench Cloak, or even like an Anima Visage. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, any item that's like AP or Bruiser-ish would work on Shyvana. The best emblems you could choose for this comp would be like Pyro Emblem or Shapeshifter Emblem, and then because of the mechanic of Pan, if you forge it, you get Spatula, also vice versa. Spatula, reforge it, you get Pan. So whichever one you want. And then Pyro, you put it on Smolder, Shapeshifter. You can put on Smolder as well, or you can just put on like anyone else. For our units, our opener is gonna be Namzi as the Smolder item holder, and then Shyvana as your early game carry with Namzi, and then you can have Jace as the Briar item holder, or you can just put the Bloodthirster that I hovered over Jace. You can just throw on Shyvana, it's fine as well. And you throw in a Twitch for Hunter with Namzi, and you just add Shapeshifters over time when you level up. Pretty simple. It's just 2 Hunters and all Shapeshifters. And this is going to be the default level 8 board, meaning if you can hit the legendary units, which is Smolder as our main carry, so you transfer the items from Namzi to Smolder, and then Shyvana as our secondary carry that carried up to this point. And if you have items for Briar, because you put items maybe on Jace, or you put Bloodthirster or Shyvana, you could just like remove it and throw it on Briar, is fine. And then we have our Varus for a blaster with Smolder, and then just a bunch of Shapeshifters and Nasus with Pyro on Varus. So you can have extra attack speed on the board. This board's pretty simple, pretty easy to do. It's just kind of luck at this point if you can hit the Briar or Smolder at level 8. And I would prefer to have Elise as the 1 cost over the Jace because she's a frontline unit and Jace is a backline unit. And they also kind of nerfed this damage a little bit. So having extra tank from Elise would be better in my opinion. Once we hit level 9, we just throw in +1 dragon, so we got 3 dragon, and this is where Shyvana shines because she gets a lot of damage for having 3 dragon, and it boosts Smolder's damage by a little bit as well. And if you're wondering, what do I do if I have Shapeshifter emblem so you can have 8 Shapeshifters in? Because that means you gotta take out either Namzi or Varus. I would prefer just take out the Varus so you can have 3 dragon in, because I feel like that's stronger to have than 2 blasters, because it makes your Shyvana do extra damage if you have 3 dragons. So what happens if we cannot hit any of the 5 cost units? Well, there is a low roll version, which at level 8 you can play Varus carry instead, so you have the Smolder items on Varus, and then Shyvana is just Shyvana. Olaf will be the Briar item holder. Throw in Hui if you can't fight Smolder. You throw in Hui, so you can get Frost with Olaf, and you also get Blaster for Varus. So that means you throw in Swain to get that 3 Frost activated. He's also a Shapeshifter. We keep our Namzi in to keep Dragon, and we also get Hunter with Olaf, and then Nasus is Pyro with Varus, and then Nico's just a strong Shapeshifter overall. So this would be like a good low roll board. You could play this too as well for like top 4 if you cannot hit any of the 5 costs, and you could just probably hit level 9 where you could just throw in Diana and take out Hui and throw in Smolder and just transfer the items from Varus to Smolder back. So this is a pretty decent board to play if you play low roll, and you could just swap out the Nico for the Briar instead, or you could just transition back to the default level 9 board. Totally up to you. You can play whichever version you want. It just depends on your circumstances. And for our first item slams, we got an Namzi item such as Ginsu's Rageblade, Last Whisper, or Rinna's Hurricane. Rinna's Hurricane is a very powerful one since you hit more units on the board. And there's also another good first item slam you can do for Namzi. I wouldn't really recommend doing it if you don't know how to use it, but you can slam Spirit Sojourn to win streak hard with Namzi. The Spirit Sojourn is a very powerful item on her. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it then. And then we got Shyvana items such as Crown Guard, Onyx Spark, or any tank item, and then Bloodthirster on either Jace or Shyvana. For our augments, we want to play tempo order, which is econ or item first, item or econ second, and third one is either combat or item. Technically, you could do item for all three because item is always the safest. For our econ augments, it would be Spoils of War, Raining Gold, Epoch, balanced budgeting, tiny titans. Upward mobility is a good one to note because you can probably hit Brair or Smolder easier, and I'm gonna show you that on my gameplay video here soon. For our items, big grab bag is always a good one to take. You have my bow since you want to prioritize Smolder. This one's really good for him. You have my sword is very good for kind of Smolder and it's very good on Brair and Shyvana. Unleash the Beast is very powerful on Brair, and you just have these close items just to like tempo with since they're actually pretty strong items. For our combat augments, the best one to take would be Eternal Growth because you're playing mostly shapeshifters, so this would actually help them get more HP since you're playing with a lot of different unique items. Item Collector is a very good one for that. Combat Bandages is very powerful overall in the meta. Speaking of meta, Avenge the Fallen and Giant Mighty are really strong lists right now too. There is like a Namzi real version which is Draconic Mastery, and best in slot item for Namzi would be Spear Sojourn, last with Spear +1, or just Spear Sojourn and anything whatever. You can also play with Tempo as well for Draconic Mastery, but if you have a lot of Namzis, I would just say play Namzi reroll. And I keep saying tempo a lot, and most of you might not know what tempo playstyle is. Essentially, is stage 2-1, level of 4, so you can start win streaking. Stage 2-3, always make intervals of 10 gold, like 10, 20, 30. If you have more than around like the 4 gold mark in the intervals of 10, pre-level of 5, which looks like this, where you have 8 out of 10 XP. The reason why you want to do this, because after you get out of the carousel, you have a level 5 shop, and you have a 2% chance to get 4 cost units at level 5. But if you did not do this part, then you could just stage at 2-4, just hit level 5. Stage 2-6, make another interval of 10 gold again, like 20, 30, or 40. At stage 3-2, hit level 6. Stage 3-7, or whenever you want, hit level 7, so you can like, you know, be strong. At stage 4-2, or even earlier, like 4-1, hit level 8, and roll for your board. Pretty easy, standard playstyle to do. If you master this, you can play any 4-cost carry comps. For most of you that's wondering, this is a master rank lobby game, so it's not too high of a elo, but you know, it's pretty decent. For our first augments, we got On the Carry Now, which is actually really good for a start. Same with Radiant Relics, if you don't have good items, this is a good one to take. Or Dual Purpose, which is a good econ augment, which you should take most of the time, but we'll see what we can roll for the other two first. We end up rolling Worth the Wait or an Upgraded Adventure, and these two are mostly just reroll augments, so we're not playing reroll, we want to play tempo. Therefore, we're just going to take Dual Purpose and just go with it, so we can try to win streak with it. And as you see here, my board is currently Jace 2 with 2 shapeshifters such as Shyvana and Elise. And we're trying to like upgrade the board as much as we can. We hit Elise 2 here, trying to be strong as possible. And we decided to, you know, just hit level 4 so we could be strong enough to win streak, throw it out. And we somehow hit Shyvana 2 here because I forgot about dual purpose during this round. Because when you level, you get a free reroll. And since we got Shyvana 2, we're super strong here with Onyx Spark and our Giant's Belt. You can see at stage 2-3, I decided to pre-level to level 5. We also make 10 gold, so we can tempo even harder. So this is actually a really good spot since we're gonna hit level 5 shop, and we also have 10 gold. For our second augment at stage 2-3, still at 100% HP, and we are left with silver augments such as Tiny Titans, which I didn't want to take because we're already at full HP, so what's the point in my opinion. We also got Branching Out, which isn't too bad, but I'm hard forcing a specific comp, so I'm not gonna take it. And we also got Recombobulator, which I'm kind of considering because I got a lot of 3 cost units on the board, and I have a Nasus in the back that you can't really see right now. You'll see in a second. The 2 augments that I didn't want, we rolled it, and we actually got Blistering Strikes, which we don't need because Dragon already gives anti-heal, so we don't need it. Fine Vintage is okay, but I didn't want it, so we're gonna do Recombobulator because I have a lot of 3 and 4 cost units like I mentioned before. So we're gonna see what we can get with this Recombobulator, so we're gonna play with Test of Luck. And we ended up hitting another Nasus again, which is good, because I actually needed the Nasus for Shapeshifter. We also hit Morgana, which is a very powerful unit, so we can win streak even harder with this unit, because we also get extra gold from her, since she would give you extra units that she kills. For our third augment, we got Support Catch, Balanced Budgeting, and Teaming Up. Teaming Up and Support Catch are basically the same, but Support Catch would be a lot better, because you're able to pick your support item, so we're just going to roll Teaming Up. And we ended up getting Keepers, which I didn't want, so we either roll Balanced Budgeting or Support Catch, and because I'm dumb, I like to do more money, so we're gonna roll support cash to see if we can get there. And then we ended up getting Pandora's Bench, which is a no-go here. We don't need it at all. So we took balanced budgeting, just so we could fast 9 with it. And as you can see with our current board, we have 2 hunters, all shapeshifter with the Morgana still, so we can keep winning with. We ended up losing last turn, which is fine because we won every round besides last turn. So we have a lot of money, like 86 right now. So we can easily fast 9 and play our level 9 board. And this is the second to last round. The reason why I'm showing this is because we hit Varus 3 in the last round. So I want to show you how strong this comp is without having Varus 3. And this comp, what makes it so strong is that if you have high enough HP, you can just keep feeding Brair over and over with her passive. But the issue with feeding her is that you lose a lot of HP. That's the reason why I'm 90 HP currently. When I had like around 70, 60 HP earlier, I just kept feeding over and over so we could win this round. And this is the final round because he FF later anyways. And this board, the good thing to note is that because no one plays Varuses, at level 9, you can roll down for all the Varuses until level 3. So you can transfer the items from Smolder to Varus and just win the game off this way too. Regardless, we won even without the Varus 3 because our Brair is super strong since we fed her a lot. And then you see right here, he just FF, and then we just won the game off this way. So, this is it. This is how you play the comp. And that is it for my Smolder Shapeshifter comp guide. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer to the best of my capabilities. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.